Hello, everyone. We have Deann Maiden and Adam Stargazing Astrology in the house today. Hello. I hope everybody had a happy Easter or Passover, whatever you celebrate. I had family over, and I just now got my kitchen cleaned up. It was a disaster, but glad to have all of that stress over with. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. I had good
Glad to
Easter.
have all of that
Woo!
stress over with. How are you?
I was going to tell Adam to turn off his down his volume, and I had mine up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a good one. Cooked roast and potatoes and onions and biscuits and gravy and corn on the cob, and turned out good.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Didn't burn anything.
How about you, Adam? What's been going on?
So doing good over here. We are so lucky. We have finally gotten a little more rain in California. I'm out in Santa Cruz, California on the coast. It has just been dry as a bone. So this is good for fire season. I've just been doing astrology and analyzing natal charts and analyzing transit charts and just, enjoying life.
Yeah. I've seen you on a lot of other people's channels. Well, you and Deann both, so that's wonderful.
I think, Adam, you're breaking up just a little bit. I wonder, do you have your volume up like I did on your iPad?
Yeah, let me see here.
You got to turn it all the way down.
I hear him.
All the way down?
One of them, either your computer or your phone, whichever one is the one you're just using to look at comments.
So right here, I have one device right now. I'm just on my iPad. Can you hear me now? Okay, is that better?
Yeah, you're just freezing up a little bit. I didn't know if maybe you had, since you had both the iPad and the computer, if maybe you had both of them connected to StreamYard or something.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't even end up getting on my laptop at all.
Actually, Adam, if you want, turn up your sound just a little bit, because I can hear you, but it is a little muted now. I thought you sounded fine.
Oh, okay. How about now? Does it sound good now?
It still sounds a little, muted.
Okay.
That's better. It's better now. You're good now.
Okay. This is what I had before. I just had it turned all the way up. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hear you good now. All right. Well, I want to say welcome to everybody watching. Say hi to everybody real quick. Sharon Sight, Teresa, Ron, Justin's mom, Spirit Beyond the Stars, Claudia, Above the Clouds, Lisa H, Debbie Powers, Mama Bear, Linda Bishop, Lynn, Mimi Rose, hello, Carlene, Sandra Wells. So today, for our show, because we have Adam on, he is prepared. We can talk over some January 6th stuff, and more specifically on Mark Meadows, his communications, Ginny Thomas, Clarence Thomas. We're going to try to stay on those topics because that's what Adam's prepared for. So if anybody has any questions in the chat while we're talking about it, we'll let Adam do his thing, and then me and Deann can throw some cards and, tell you what we're feeling intuitively, while Adam's going to give an astrology perspective on it. So, hey, Chris and Miss May.
All right.
We'll get started off.
Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for joining the show. My YouTube page is Adam Stargazing Astrology. And then all of my contact info is on that page as far as my email and how to get a hold of me. I also have my email in the description box in all my videos. So again, that's Adam Stargazing Astrology under YouTube. So
I actually have his link in the description box of this video and Deann's. So if you're not already, please go over to their channels and subscribe. And please subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Hit the thumbs up. That all really helps. All right.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Kevin. And then, I provide astrological services and astrological readings, natal charts, transit charts, composite charts, so if there's any questions regarding anything, please contact me. All right.
Thank you for sharing that, Gypsy.
Yeah. So just a brief synopsis of the January 6th event, which is the insurrection. So the January 6th committee, they have text messages showing that Ginny Thomas was pleading with Mark Meadows to overturn election results. So Ginny Thomas, as we know, is a conservative activist who is married to Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. And Mark Meadows was the former President Donald Trump's chief of staff. So, as we know, these people are very linked with the Republican Party. So Meadows would respond to Ginny's text with a, "I will fight firm until there is more left. Our country is too precious to give up on." So the revelation of the messages between Thomas and Meadows, which are, they're both key allies of Trump, they come as progressives and some legal ethics experts. They basically see a potential conflict here, in relation to Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas and perhaps some of the rulings, that he would make, in relation to this event. So basically, there's a lot of crooked stuff going on. So it turns out Mark Meadows ended up turning over thousands of texts before he stopped cooperating with the January 6th committee. So the texts have proven to hold a treasure trove of info about what is going on in the White House and what actually did go on. So, yeah, there's obviously some crooked stuff going on. So I will talk a little bit first about Ginny Thomas's astrological chart and some of the aspects in her chart that force her to act the way she does. So first of all, she has an extremely strong 10th house placement. The 10th house in the astrological chart rules the solidified ego structure, and it also rules the public image. She has her sun sign sitting there. Her sun sign stands for her ego structure. She will do anything to defend her ego with this aspect. So she has a Aquarius sitting up there on the midheaven. So she likes to think of herself as outspoken. She likes to think of herself as rebellious. But what's interesting with the Aquarian vibes is we see that politicians a lot of times have these strong Aquarius aspects and will either be extremely right-wing or extremely left-wing. So Aquarius within itself rules, definitely more broad-minded ideals. However, because Aquarius is a fixed sign and it's an air sign, which is intellectual, Aquarius can also be very Republican as well. So she has her planet Mercury, which rules communications. It's in square aspect, which is tense aspect to the planet Mars, which is all about her energy. So she's really prone to sarcasm. This gives a very combative nature, very opinionated, and very sharp-tongued. So she really has a hard time holding back with this aspect. It makes her volatile and aggressive as well. Her moon sign is in the 7th house. So essentially, she's emotionally dependent on others to make her decisions. And her moon is in Capricorn, which is really all about keeping up the traditional structures and the status quo. Her moon is square Jupiter. So the moon is the emotions, and a square aspect indicates a tense relationship between that and Jupiter. So she really overestimates her capabilities and really thinks she can do anything. She has the planet Saturn, which is the Lord of Karma, in the 6th house. And the 6th house is all about karmic debts. It's all about enemies. Saturn rules karma in the astrological chart. So this is really an aspect of a workaholic. It's also the aspect of someone with disruptive marital affairs. And it's also the you know, the aspect of someone who has a lot of enemies. So yeah, that was kind of my brief interpretation, along with Gemini rising. Don't want to forget that, which makes her sort of shifty and unstable in her communications and her behavior.
Yeah. All right. So, Deann, do you want to throw on Ginny Thomas a little bit? Last time I threw on her, I felt like she's losing everything, like in the short-term future. Like I could see a lot of loss around her, and I was even feeling, you know, possibly the passing of her husband and just being so overwhelmed. I do see her. I think that they'll eventually call on her to testify over her text messages with the January 6th, but I don't think she'll be very compliant. And so I feel like she'll be further investigated, but I've never felt jail time for her personally, but a lot of loss around her.
Okay, well, I got they're going to find out, the people that have worked together, and they're finding out about the buses and the you know, the people that she paid for to go down there, because things are coming clear. You know, they found out those text messages. You know, they become unredacted. They found out about them. So she's really nervous right now because things are becoming clear. The dark things that she did with her husband. So it shattered her dreams. She worked together. Her husband knows, you know, she's been talking to her husband about it. They're looking at all the evidence right now, and it's become quite a burden for them. So yeah, her husband knew about all this stuff. They kind of been talking about this all along.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting too, because when you pulled the redacted card, it just made me think about all the information that's going to come out to the public when the January 6th starts their public hearings.
Yes.
And I really see this investigation ramping up, and intuitively, I just keep on seeing breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. So much information's coming out once they do go public. I feel like next month and the next couple months, like all summer, I feel just big information coming out.
Yeah, we've been getting that for quite a while, that it's going to be, you know, spring and summer, there's going to be all kinds of stuff coming out. A lot is going to be found out.
Yeah, that's
I'm throwing a few cards on her. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah.
Were you okay. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I think probably I was gonna do some of her transits, but I'm thinking after you.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
so what I'm picking up is there was, as we know, there was a lot of cooperation between hers and others. I think she played a vital part in this insurrection. You know, I think she didn't think that she thought she could get away with it, that they wouldn't find all the evidence. And I think that they have a lot more than what she's even aware of. This is that loss that I'm seeing over the love. So I like, you know, there's a despair with this Five of Swords, feeling defeated. It has to do with her relationship with the Lover's card. And I do feel, and also those pacts that she made with others. But I do feel a loss around her. She's got the Tower below. So she was definitely a vital part in this insurrection. I'm feeling with this Knight of Wands and the Tower. So a lot of explosive information coming out about that. And not being able to walk away from this, not being able to escape it. You know, and the thing that's really messed up about Ginny Thomas too is that she's so narcissistic and egotistical. She didn't think she was doing anything wrong in her mind. She was speaking her truth, you know. And all she really cares about is the wealth that she has, holding on to the money, which I see falling apart. She's going to fall straight on her face, and that lifestyle of being overindulgent is going to be over. She's going to be a sacrifice with the hangman reversed. So doesn't look very good around her. I'll say that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the thumbs up.
Wow. So, some of these short-term and long-term transits I have for her, they look pretty challenging. I would say right here it's probably about a 75-25 to 75% in relation to some of the more challenging aspects. So, Kevin, you used the word explosive, and some of these aspects really indicate that, and I'll explain why. So, for her short-term aspect, she has the planet Mercury, which rules the mind and communications. It's sitting right next to the planet Mars, which is all about action and Mars is extremely dynamic. So this indicates impulsive speaking, speaking without thinking. This is really an indication of her putting her foot in her mouth through her rash behaviors. The next one is Mars. The planet Mars is transiting and sitting right next to her sun sign. So this is explosive. You have two fiery planets sitting next to each other. This is extremely combustible. So it's with this aspect, any little thing will just push her off the edge. She's about ready to explode.
Yeah.
The next one is Venus squared Saturn. So Venus is relationships. A square is tense aspect. And whenever you have Saturn, it's the Lord of Karma, baby. Your karma now. You are gonna get some challenges through those relationship aspects, through those aspects that you have abused. There is gonna be some crisis, some karmic crisis here through the abuse of relationships with that aspect. And the last aspect that she has that's pretty challenging is the Sun's transiting sun sign is opposed to her Neptune. Sun sign stands for ego structure. When it's sitting in opposition to Neptune, she is prone to illusions and disillusions and escapism and denial and fantasy to the max with this aspect.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And and it's still her truth though in her mind. Like she doesn't see, her ego getting in her way or, these delusions of what she was doing, that there was anything wrong with it. I mean, she's just a complete narcissist in that sense.
Do you get Adam? I don't know if you can tell with her chart. Does it look to you like she may go to jail?
I wasn't seeing many 12th house aspects in the short term. Any aspects to the 12th house or Saturn Pluto aspects, those could possibly indicate that. The reason why the 12th house, because the 12th house has a lot to do with imprisonment. However, though, her long-term aspects don't look so great either. So the first aspect she has is Saturn, again, the Lord of Karma. It's in harsh aspect or square aspect to her north node, which is her evolutionary direction. So she is going to be basically having to come to terms with things in a very challenging way. Yeah. She's sort of going to get a hammer's going to be kind of hitting her over the head slowly, and it's really going to cause her to flip out. However, though, because it's a north node aspect, it's actually for her karmic good. It's just going to be a toughie. So the next...
I was just highlighting this comment. Chris Martin doesn't jail, but total ridicule and expulsion from society.
I keep feeling like he's going to step down, and maybe blame his health or something like that. But I get that they will maybe say, we have all this on you. If you don't want us to go ahead with this, then your husband's going to need to step down and recuse himself. Is what I've been feeling.
And we're going to definitely get into that as we get into Clarence Thomas. I think me and you both have been saying that for a long time, Deann. We see him stepping down and using the health as an excuse.
Yeah, so her next long-term aspect is the planet Saturn. Again, it's that Lord of Karma. We keep seeing that with all these aspects. It's sitting next to Venus, so So this is going to create a lot of obstacles and the form of relationship. She's going to feel isolated. She's going to feel like she can't rely upon others. And this really, it's like she's being forced to really reckon her karma and to not hide behind her delusions. The next one is Saturn sitting on the midheaven, which is the high point in the chart. So the high point in the chart is the public image. Saturn's the lord of karma. What we're going to be seeing here, the truth is going to be, it's coming, you know. She has the planet Uranus squared Mercury. Uranus is all volatile and reckless, and its intense aspect to Mercury, which is her communications. She is going to be spitting lies out from every single angle. She's going to be volatile and reckless and impulsive with this aspect. And her last aspect she has is the planet Uranus, which is that earthquake, that lightning bolt. It's sitting next to the planet Mars. This is a volatile, very highly charged aspect. You know, she is going to try to squeeze her way out of anything with this aspect through sheer force, but because she also has a lot of these Mercury aspects, I can almost see to a certain extent she's perhaps is going to be kind of her own self-undoing.
Yeah. Do you pick up in her chart when you feel like, you know, crap's going to hit the fan for her, really, like time frame wise?
Yeah. So she has a lot of these really intense short-term aspects that I would consider combustible aspects. So I believe she is going to not be able to shut her mouth in certain circumstances, and things are probably going to get leaked out, and people will be able to make stronger connections with her verbal leakage, so to speak. And then those long-term Saturn aspects, which play out, you know, between the next 3 to 6 months, are really going to come into effect. And that's really where she's going to see the Lord of Karma just slam the hammer down on her.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that fits in perfectly when I see a lot of this January 6th stuff really ramping up and, you know, things becoming public. She's not a good energy to tap into. If you think of like a Karen kind of energy, that is totally Ginny Thomas. Like mega Karen, like she takes it way over the top. Were you throwing some cards on anything, Deann?
No, I was kind of getting ready for Clarence.
Okay. Well, is that where? Does anybody in the chat have any questions about? We're gonna talk about Clarence Thomas. We've just talked about Ginny Thomas and Mark Meadows and the January 6th. So if anybody has any questions on, yes, very true, Debsy. No offense to good people named Karen. If anybody has any questions about Ginny Thomas, we can kind of look into that before we move on. Yeah, she's a mega Karen. Well, actually, if let's move on, and if we get any questions, we can go back to it in a better spot. I think that's a better idea. So, did you want to get into Clarence Thomas next, or did you want to talk more about Mark Meadows, Adam?
We can do Clarence Thomas. Yeah, that would be fine. Yeah. So Clarence Thomas is a sun sign Cancer. He has his Mercury in retrograde, and those who have a Mercury in retrograde in their birth chart, they can have perhaps sort of a difficulty in shyness in expressing themselves. But what he has sitting next to this Mercury in retrograde is he also has Venus in retrograde. And Venus has a lot to do with relationships and a lot to do with the heart. So those with a Venus in retrograde, they never feel safe expressing themselves in relationships. And they sort of feel like the underdog. So to a certain extent, with these aspects, he has a little bit of kind of like an underdog syndrome to a certain extent. But there are other aspects that would indicate that he rises above that and really, unfortunately, you know, isn't in complete integrity with a lot of things. His astrological chart really represents this old Pluto cycle that is going to be ending in 2023. Pluto is ending in Capricorn. So he really represents the old sort of stuck, fixed, and overly conservative energy that really was thriving years back, but it's no longer working. So it looks like he has returned to the bench after an illness. So he again is on the bench of the Supreme Court Justice. And so what I've done is I've done some short-term transits and some long-term transits in relation to, you know, his career and how long he may last.
Okay.
Yeah, so surprisingly, you know, in his short-term transits, he has a lot of what are called trine aspects. And trine aspects are harmonious and the energy flows smoothly and runs smoothly together. Things are easier with trine aspects. So he has the planet Mars, which is his energy. It's in smooth aspect to Venus, which is his relationships. Mars has a lot to do with vitality as well. So, you know, so this definitely indicates, you know, that he's doing a little better physically and that he has a supportive network in relation to that Venus aspect. The next one is Mercury trine Mars. Mercury's mind and communication. It's in harmonious aspect to Mars, which is his energy. Again, this is an aspect of support and an aspect of vitality. The next one is, let's see here, Mars trine Sun. Those are both fiery aspects and have a lot to do with vitality again, you know, so this is like vital support that he's getting. Let's see here. He has Venus opposed Mars. So Venus is the feminine aspect. Mars is the masculine aspect. They're sitting across from each other. So what this indicates is quarrel and conflict as well. It looks like with this aspect, as Venus's relationship, that he may be battling with Ginny Thomas. Perhaps their relationship is at odds with each other, and it's perhaps sort of a slow leech, you know, sort of like a leech kind of sucking on his vitality. And the last one is Mercury squared Saturn. So Mercury's communication, Saturn is the lord of karma. That square aspect indicates tension. You know, he has a lot of trines backing him up, but he's going to need to be careful as to how he's expressing himself, and he's not going to be able to get away with everything with this aspect because the Lord of Karma is upon him as well.
You know, as you were talking, I was just picking up that I agree that, you know, the relationship between him and his wife is very shaky. He's so mad that he's getting involved in, you know, and all of the crazy stuff that she was doing with the insurrection. And he knows that there's going to be a lot of public ridicule over this. So he's actually, he's not happy that his wife was doing that. And I think a lot of it was actually behind his back too. Well, and I feel like when he was sick too, I was picking up intuitively that he was really struggling with it. Like, I think part of him wondered if he would be able to get past it, but I still feel he might be doing better now, but I feel like he's still getting treatment for something. He's still, you know, seeing his doctors like weekly. I was picking up as you were talking. Yeah, he's angry. He's being exposed to, yes, Debsy.
Well, did you want
any cards?
Yeah, I did. I just didn't know if he was ready for me yet. Okay, well, here he is, Clarence, the male. There's a lot of chatter, a lot of talk about him because of his wife in pink and the money she spent, spent on those buses for all those people to come and storm the Capitol. Karma is coming for the both of them. They're both going to have their karma because the truth is going to come out. In the past, he got the 9 of Pentacles, so he is a very independent, wealthy, both of them, independent, wealthy, doing good. But right now he feels like he got the Five of Swords, so it's a losing battle. You know, he's not able to move on. He wants a peaceful resolution to it, to end the conflict. He feels like there's just a lot of burden that is on him right now because of his wife, and it's keeping him from being able to move on, and it's causing him a lot of self-doubt. He's very discontented. You know, again, he can't move on, and yeah, he's going to have justice as well. So
Mm.
they're both going to be facing their karmic justice, it looks like.
Yeah.
And also, hopelessness. He's feeling kind of hopeless, disappointment. He's going to have some bad luck. So, star in reverse.
You know, as I was shuffling Deann, I had the Five of Swords come flying out in reverse this time. So, you know, there's a lot of defeat there.
Yeah.
You know, he comes through as the Knight of Swords reverse. And did you say what his sun sign was, Adam? Oh, he's a Cancer? Okay. Well, he's coming through as the Ruthless Knight. But I do feel like the main concern is the money that was given to bust these people in. And there's a lot more information coming out about that. You know, put the text messages and the communication aside. There's a lot more information about the money that they gave coming out. Yeah, I get that he's definitely very concerned with the wife, the Lover's card. You know, I get the Six of Cups reverse, so being disappointed with the wife and nervous about justice coming for her and for him. And this could also mean too, you know, justice reversed is, you know, maybe a stepping down from the court, which I've been seeing for a while. Yeah, he's not feeling good energetically. He's very tired, you know, disappointed. He's not in a good headspace. But the thing is, with him stepping down, you know, he's not going to step down unless he thinks that, you know, he's not going to be. I think he's going to wait more till midterms because he thinks that the Republicans are going to take over the Senate. And because if there was any chance of, you know, them putting a liberal in his place, he's not standing for it. You know, he's not anxious about it. He's deflecting those swords away from him with the Knight of Swords. He's very much the type that, you know, he's not stepping down unless he feels good that the Republicans are going to take over, and I don't feel like that's going to be the case. Yeah, all the friendships, his good name is all going to be destroyed in the future.
Adam, do you feel like with the eclipse that we're going to have on April 30th, and it's supposed to be, I don't know, isn't that like a new moon or something? Anyway, isn't it, and he's a Cancer. How is that going to affect the two of them? Do you believe?
So, yeah, so what's going to happen with that eclipse is there's going to be a whole bunch of planets that are going to fall in the astrological sign of Taurus, sun sign, moon sign, and then a whole slew of other planets. You know, Taurus really rules material finances and it rules stability. But what we always see opposite of the eclipse is the Scorpio energies. And the reason why is because Scorpio stands opposing Taurus. And what we see during the eclipse is because all the light is shining upon Taurus, we see all the darkness shining upon Scorpio. And that is all about power struggles and power complex and joint resources and lies and deceit and mysterious things sort of oozing out in kind of a gross way. So this really is a time, it's even though it's a solar eclipse, this could potentially be a very dark time for those individuals who are not in integrity.
And they're not.
No, they're not. And like I was saying, you know, Trump and the Republicans, even like the ones in Congress that were supporting this insurrection, I just feel so much information, and I think it's going to really galvanize people out to vote for the Democrats because there's going to be so much bad information that comes out this summer with this investigation, things leaking. It's going to be horrible look for them.
Yeah.
A lot of it will be exposed.
Yeah. So Clarence Thomas's his long-term transits are, I'm going to be totally honest, these are some of the most challenging transits I've seen in a while.
Oh, wow.
Aw.
Yeah, so
You
it's,
can do a better
you know,
guy.
he's going to have a lot of unexpected things happen to him, a lot of sudden unexpected things that
Mm,
rock his world. So his first aspect is the planet Uranus, which is that lightning bolt in that earthquake. It's sitting right next to his north node, which is his evolutionary direction. This man is in for some intense surprises, and these are gonna like come out of nowhere.
mm,
The next one is the planet Uranus, which again is that lightning bolt. Its intense aspect to Pluto, which is transformation. The universe is asking him to grow through these situations. It's asking him to shed his old ideas and beliefs. So with this aspect, he will be shedding some ideas and beliefs, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to come through quick and sudden change that's going to create crisis for him.
yeah.
The next one is Jupiter, which is all about expansion. It's in square aspect, which is a challenging aspect to the planet Uranus. So we're seeing that again. So whenever Jupiter is in square to something, it overemphasizes it. So this is like, this could almost be the aspect of like a heart attack, or some
Mm,
really intense health thing that happens all of a sudden, or him, having to just step down all of a sudden, or some stuff, something being revealed all of a sudden. We have to remember whenever Jupiter hits something, it expands it and it overemphasizes it and it blows it
mm,
up. So the next one is the planet Pluto, which is all about transformation. It's tense dynamic aspect to his midheaven. The midheaven stands for the career and the public image. This is an aspect of someone who is going to, you know, to basically be looked at differently in the public eye within the next 6 months. The public eye is going to go through a transformational shift in relation to how they're viewing him. And the next one, the last one, is Jupiter squared Jupiter. That's no fun. That is an overestimation of one's capabilities, leading to a complete burnout.
Well, and could the burnout be because of his health too? Because energetically, he's just so weak and tired.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And Jupiter really just, when it's in a square aspect, it really just overdoes itself. There's no boundaries with a Jupiter square Jupiter. It's just go, 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 go until you drop.
Mm. I'm with Hilda here. She said she's stocked up on popcorn like people have stocked up on toilet paper. Yes, get the popcorn popping. It's going to be a fun show. Well, it's not going to be fun. I think a lot of us won't be totally surprised with some of the stuff that comes out, and it's more than just January 6th. There's other stuff coming out throughout the summer. I feel very strongly, but we're just going to be so embarrassed, and there's just going to be so much shock and awe. It's not going to probably change too many, Trump Republicans' minds. They'll just ignore it. But yeah, get your popcorn ready.
Well, I might have to go off keto that day. I might have to. I got to have my popcorn for this.
Yeah.
Popcorn and a glass of wine.
I mean,
yeah.
and with these aspects, I would say we're probably going to see trailing. Like, we'll probably be able to sort of keep a tally on the trailing days of things that come out. This isn't just going to be one thing. This is going to be like one thing and then
after another.
It's like one lightning bolt after the next, and then you have Jupiter in there. It's blowing up the lightning bolts, and then you have Pluto there. It's really looking to evolutionarily cleanse him. That's really what Pluto does on an evolutionary level. It brings everything up to the surface for a cleansing.
So I may need to ration the popcorn, not eat it all at once.
Yeah.
I would ration it over the next 6 months, 3 to 6 months.
All right.
Nice, Chris. Chris Martin says, Adam, I know nothing about astrology, but you always impress, and I feel dead on. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and like I said, for the summer, I just feel like breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Like it's going to be a continuous thing, and it's going to be more damning information after the next, after the next. Like I said, it goes far beyond Trump. It goes to a lot of Republicans, a lot of stuff with the January 6th. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, and with these aspects, like you mentioned, Kevin, I have a feeling people are going to be able to make connections of things that happened with him years ago. It's just it's like everything is just going to be spilling out.
Yes, Wendy.
Justin's mom said chicken wings.
Yeah, it is chicken wings too. All right. Well, I did get a couple questions about Ginny Thomas. One was more of a comment. Chris Martin said that Ginny was more involved than with just buses. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. There was a lot of planning that was involved in that, and I think that there was more money given for it too, beyond just money for the busing. And Debsy asked, though, out of the relationship between Ginny and Clarence, does Ginny wear the pants in the relationship? And I feel yes, very strongly yes. I think Clarence will gripe about his wife, but it's kind of Ginny's way or the highway.
Yeah, and what I see with these aspects is he's more sort of old school staunch, where she's more sort of out there, kind of volatile, and she uses her for manipulation. She's definitely got more of that yang energy, for sure.
She might have been the one to tell him, you are not stepping down. You will not step down. That you're going to be there and kind of watch her back.
She's just got like this brainwash, like cult energy all around her. That's what I get. She's just extremely delusional. All of these, Trump cult ideas. She's all into the conspiracy theories and all of that. Like, and like I said too, no offense to the good Karens out there, but mega Karen, that is Ginny Thomas. That describes her pretty well, I think.
Except I don't know the aspect of Karen completely well, but did Karens try to sort of like hide themselves a little bit?
I think that the Karens really came out after Trump was president and just like a lot of the hatred and racism and bigotry all came out because Trump made it okay. So they all came out of hiding, and that's why we see it now so much too. I think, and especially with like social media and people having cell phones, videotaping everything. But even after all of this is gone and the conspiracy theorists settle down here in a couple of years, they're going to still be there. They're not going to change. They're just going to go back into their caves, go back into hiding.
Yeah. So I would guess Marjorie Taylor Greene would definitely kind of.
Oh yeah, Karen, the queen of Karens, top Karen, her and Bobert.
Mark's funny. He says Clarence Thomas, he wears diapers under that sexy robe.
Don't even want to think about it.
I do feel sorry for the nice people that are named Karen, though.
Yeah, I've met very nice Karens out there.
Yeah,
but you know what? I would say too. Apparently, the male equivalent to a Karen is a Kevin because it starts with a K, and I don't think I'm anywhere near entitled like that. So
I thought it was Ken. I don't know why. I was thinking it was Karen Ken, but it's Kevin, huh?
Yeah, I've heard that before. I don't find any truth in that. Debsy says, "Will it cause strain on the relationship?" Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I got that.
Very happy with his wife. All right. So, is there any other questions between Ginny and her husband? Let me see if I just make sure I didn't miss anything before I move on.
And Pendulum says yes too, as far as strain on the relationship, and I got that in the cards as well.
Yeah, the Karens were empowered by the MAGA folks. Yes. Sherry says that she's heard Ken or Kevin. So.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, I think we can move on. If we get any more questions about it, we can go back into it. So are we going to talk more about Mark Meadows and all the communications and text messages that were given to the January 6th?
Yeah, so Mark Meadows he's a bit of a force to be reckoned with. This man has an extremely strong astrological chart. His sun sign is in Leo. So, Leo really is all about, the public persona. It's a fire sign. It's a fixed element. So those people with, that have a lot of strong Leo in their astrological chart, these people are really all about keeping that public image and keeping the limelight, and they will sometimes go to any extent, to be able to keep that. And of course, there are other aspects in the chart, that would indicate otherwise. So his first aspect he has in his astrological natal chart, he has the planet Pluto, which is power. It's sitting right next to the planet Mars, which is his energy. This is someone who treats life like a battlefield. This person is ruthless and they will not give up power. This is like power mania here.
Yeah.
And his south node, which indicates what you're comfortable. So the south node indicates the energy that you're comfortable being and expressing. So his south node is in Aries. Aries is the trailblazer and all about being independent and taking independent action. That is in his 11th house, which rules the community and political and social sphere. So what he's doing with this aspect is he's really utilizing his south node strength to kind of manipulate the political spectrum and kind of do his own thing with that, so this is a strong aspect of manipulation. This man has a lot of inborn strength and a lot of inborn talents, that he's really utilizing, to really twist things.
So he's able to manipulate a lot of things to get himself more power. I feel like he's very much like Trump in that sense, where he really cares mostly about power and his public image and money.
It's really interesting though, that Kevin, that you made the relation to him and Trump, because Mark Meadows has a 12th house moon, and Trump also has some strong 12th house aspects. So the moon stands for the personal self and the subconscious. So the moon in the 12th house actually feels a deep sense of loneliness and isolation. So he's kind of battling with depression in relation to feeling isolated and feeling lonely with that aspect.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, so that's pretty much, those are pretty much the hallmark aspects of Mark Meadows' astrology chart, his natal chart.
Okay. Did you get some cards thrown, Deann?
Yeah.
What are you picking up?
Okay. Well, what got him in all this trouble is he had a lot of trust for 45. Okay? He loved him, wants to be like him. So, but the things that he has done are going to come out, and people may be surprised about him. He's a little bit nervous. I got the chicken again because of the things that are coming out about him. He got the 7 of Swords. He was deceitful. He was manipulative. And he thought that Trump was going to get in and they were going to be celebrating. He thought there was going to be some celebrations going on. But he had a lack of success because he got the world in reverse, a lack of success. He was just disorganized, He is just not a very organized person. I mean, the things that he has done. But again, justice for him as well. And he's going to be sad. He's going to be in grief. Has to do with a lot of money that he did that caused chaos in the Republican Party, and everybody's going to hear about it.
What I was picking up too is He started off, I think, wanting to comply with the January 6th, but I don't think he knew quite all the information that they had on it. And
Mm-mm.
so once he started to comply and they started to question him and he knew how much information that they actually had, that's when he got defensive. He'd already shared the text messages and he's really kicking himself for doing it. But he went in thinking that he could save his own butt because he was very involved in the insurrection, is what I'm feeling.
Oh yeah.
Right now, he's very emboldened, trying to defend himself. Um, you know, he's not going to back down. I don't think he's at the point now where he would go back and cooperate. And I do get that, he was involved with some of the money that was given to these insurrectionists. So maybe that's with the communication with Ginny Thomas to get people bussed out there. Um, but yeah, he was definitely very involved in the process. There was a pact going on. With him being defensive and him stop cooperating, it's all about delaying things. And I think that that's the case for a lot of these Republicans. They want to delay as close to the midterms as possible because they're really hoping that they can take back the House and stop this investigation. But it's not going to work. I see this as a losing battle for him. He's not able to go into smoother waters. He's stranded. He's trapped. All that those cups are all broken in here. It's not harmonious for him. It's a lot of bad news. And at the bottom of my deck, it's coming to a negative karmic turning point for him, where he gets the tower, the explosions, a lot more things being revealed, coming to the surface and to light. I have picked up. I feel like he will be one of those that ends up going to jail with the Five of Pentacles, losing everything. And he's also got some ties to Russia here too, so it goes beyond just the January 6th.
Yeah, I was asking if he'd be reelected again. No. Will he end up being indicted? I got yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Kevin, that's so interesting. You talk about him possibly going to jail. So he
Yeah.
has in his natal chart, he has the planet Saturn, which is the Lord of Karma. It's sitting in retrograde. Those with a Saturn in retrograde, they really need to be on a path of integrity, because to have a Saturn in retrograde in your natal chart indicates that there are certain duties that you did not fulfill that you have to karmically fulfill this time. And because nothing gets beyond Saturn's bounds, this really is an aspect that really indicates, that most likely he's going to have to pay off his karma. And it's also his Saturn is also sitting in the 8th house, which rules secrets. And there's a strong fear of failure and fear of loss with this aspect. And this aspect can also indicate a loss through other people, meaning that someone or other people might end up exposing him.
Oh.
Might end up doing what to him?
Exposing him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I think, like I said too, I think that's why he tried to get in with the January 6th committee and give him what he thought that would make them happy to leave him alone and give his side. But once he realized how much information that they had, and they probably already had a lot of the text messages, because to be honest with you, I've always felt that there's a server under the Capitol building, for all the phones, like the text messages and emails that go through there. So they have all that information. So all of these Republicans that were giving, private tours of the Capitol building and all of that, that's all been documented. And I don't think a lot of them knew that this was going on. So, like I said, once they started really questioning him and asking him really hard questions that he couldn't answer, because then he would be lying to Congress. That's when he shut up and then started to defend himself and not cooperate. No, I agree. I mean, he has no integrity.
No, he's also he also has the moon opposed Neptune, and the moon's the emotions and the mind. This indicates someone who's prone to delusions, addictions, and is really clouded by their delusions and their illusory beliefs.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, he got text messages from Clarence's wife, right? And then he got text messages, didn't he, from Don Jr. And then from Ivanka. And so yeah, all those messages have come out. So
he was integral in that, the whole cooperation of the January 6th. He was the key player, sending messages back and forth to people. He absolutely was a key player in that. I mean, you have to think he was Trump's chief of staff. Like, he was in charge of everybody. So yeah, all that communications between people to get to Trump, and he was key in all of that.
Wasn't he the one who said it's time we need to take names and kick AS? He was kind of instigating the riot as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
So should I look at some of his short-term transits?
Sure.
Yes.
So he has a lot of Mars aspects in relation to his short-term transits. So he's similar to Ginny Thomas in the way that they're both going to use their lies and their manipulation tactics, to their benefits by powering through. Mars indicates powering through and using your aggressive behavior, to be able to get through those obstacles. So the first one he has is the transiting Mars is opposed to his natal Mars. That's energy at his disposal. However, because that aspect can also be volatile as well. This sort of like Ginny Thomas, this could be kind of a combustible aspect. And when people are so combustible, they end up kind of revealing themselves. So Mars, the transiting Mars is opposed to his Pluto. He is going to use every trick in the book for manipulation tactics. This aspect indicates lies, cheat, manipulation, anything he can do to hold on to his power. The next one is Mercury squared Uranus. Mercury's mind and communications. Its intense aspect to Uranus. This really indicates volatile behavior and an unstable mind and a lot of erratic behaviors. And let's see here. So he has Venus opposed Venus. There were perhaps those he was able to rely upon. Now the relationships are becoming a bit shakier, just kind of like Ginny Thomas. They have some very similar short-term transits. They're not in integrity. They try to battle through. They try to power through. But some of these relationships, are starting to kind of crumble and dissipate. People around them are, perhaps getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to some of his supporters that were saying, it's like, well, what evidence do you have that the election was stolen? Well, I don't have any evidence. I just know. I just feel it. It just seems like, it just feels. It's like, you can't, feeling like, your candidate lost and it don't feel right does not mean that they, it's just, you can't talk reason to some of these people, it's just, there is no facts, and you tell them, what facts do you have? And they have none, but yet still believe it without facts. It just blows my mind.
They deflect it. What about Hillary? What about Hunter Biden?
What about Hillary? What about
they don't listen to reason at all. They don't want to.
Yes.
No.
And I think I heard there was a computer specialist too that said he had Hunter Biden's laptop and there was nothing in it of what they were saying was in it. And he is a specialist, at that. So it's just like, if you say the lie enough times over and over and over again, and you get the Fox News people to say, I shouldn't say news, faux news, to say it over and over again, it's like they will believe it.
Yeah.
A lie becomes the truth.
Yeah, I know. It's like, hey, like, what about Ketanji Brown Jackson? She's about the most wholesome person you will ever meet. They're trying to accuse her of, being a
pedophile.
Yeah.
And
they always have to take it somewhere ridiculous, like, and somewhere so dark. That's the only. That's the only. And I don't know. I just don't get it. It was disgusting how they treated her.
Oh
It
gosh.
really was. And the three Republicans that voted for her, well, now they are all rhinos and pedophiles, because if you don't agree with them, well, and you don't agree with every lie without any kind of proof, then apparently you're a pedophile now.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I just don't understand how any logical minded people, and I know people in my own family, my own friends that are very smart people, I always thought, but they'll believe this stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I went to grad.
Virgo said that I went to grads through high school with Mark Meadows. He's a total
Wow.
racist, manipulating personality.
Yep. Yeah, I could see that with the astrology chart.
Was he the one whose his brothers and sisters all came out and said, "Don't vote for him"? I think he was.
I don't know if it was Mark Meadows, but I can't remember who it was
Him or
about.
Abbott?
I can't remember who it was. It might have been Meadows, but I definitely remember hearing about that. That was a while ago. I can't. Really
Yeah, it was.
But so, do you feel like with this chart that you could definitely see jail in Meadows' future, or heavily investigated?
Yes, I at least see heavily investigated with that 8th
Mhm.
house Saturn. I see he hides behind a wall of secrets and uses a manipulation tactics to hide behind that wall of secrets. I see heavy investigation. I don't know if I'm necessarily seeing jail. Like Ginny Thomas and Clarence Thomas, I'm also seeing an overestimation of one's capabilities in order to try to cover your own butt, so to speak. I'm not necessarily seeing jail, though, in any of the short-term or long-term transits.
I feel like he'll be indicted, though. You know, that he will have charges brought against him. You know,
I'm thinking
whether
of
he
jail
will.
eventually.
Yeah, maybe, but definitely I'm getting indicted. So, and he deserves to be. He deserves to be. They all deserve to be.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Adam.
I sort of see him as a combination between Ginny Thomas and Clarence, in the sense that he has the power and drive and anger and Mars energy, you know, in relation to Ginny, and then he also has that sort of deep, mysterious thing going on, you know, in relation to Clarence. So I would honestly say, in relation to his astrology chart, he's probably the toughest force to be reckoned with out of the three.
Yeah, because he'll definitely fight back. I mean, he's got the energy to do that. I can see why you would say that.
Yeah.
Deann, it was Paul Gosart who you were thinking of.
Paul Gosart. I couldn't think of who it was. I knew that there was one of them that their own brothers and sisters said, "Don't vote for them." But this one would have been a good one for them to warn us against too. But
right.
Was he subpoenaed? He was subpoenaed, and weren't they going to hold him in contempt? Or did they vote on that? Who did they vote that they were going to hold in contempt?
What? Who are you talking about? Meadows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did hold him in contempt and send it to the DOJ, and they haven't acted yet. And I think the reason why they haven't is because, you know, he was Trump's chief of staff, so there was some kind of executive privilege, and he had already started to comply with January 6th. I think that was the issue. You know, if you just don't show up for somebody, that is technically contempt. Of, like, you know, like if you were in court and you weren't complying, they'd hold you in contempt. Well, he was complying to a degree until he found out, you know, all the dirt that they had on it, and he didn't want to cooperate anymore because he got scared.
Yeah, he's hoping the clock will run out and the Republicans will take over. And I think they said if they took over, they were going to impeach Biden for no reason, just because.
Interesting.
Well, good thing is, as of right now, I do not feel like that will be a successful strategy. I see Democrats staying in power in the House and in the Senate. And I know it sounds crazy to so many people. You know, the news has to get us all scared every day and say how, you know, it's definitely a lot more favorable to the Republicans because it's a midterm election. But with all this January 6th stuff coming out, I see Democrats really starting to ramp up their attacks against Republicans and becoming on the offense. And I think Congress will actually vote to, like the not infrastructure, with the inflation being so high, they're going to vote on a bunch of stuff, their ideas to get the inflation down. And when the Republicans vote no for it, they'll be like, you weren't helping in this. We were trying to vote to do this, and you didn't care about the American people. I see so much stuff coming out that it will really get people out to vote, and people will be so disgusted with the Republican Party. I know it's kind of unprecedented that the party in control stays in control in a midterm election, but that's what I feel.
Well, I feel like Texas might even turn blue because of what Abbott did with all those trucks, backing them up and causing the groceries are high enough as it is. And then that just made them more, and all that food went to rot. And, so maybe that'll be enough to help Beto win.
The only thing with Texas and with Florida is that it is so corrupt, and there's so much cheating involved in those states. So it's really going to be a big hurdle to overcome that. Because I think the last election they were throwing out ballots and they were changing people's votes. There was a lot of sneaky stuff that was going on that kept a lot of these people in power.
Yeah.
Abortion laws will get women up in droves to vote. And I see something with student loan forgiveness. I don't think there'll be a total wipe out of debt, but I feel like something will come out before the midterm, and they'll get young people out too.
Yeah.
That will get a lot of young people out to vote.
Yeah. Also, too, Pluto will be fully moving into Aquarius in 2024. Pluto's power. Aquarius is really, humanity and very much for the people. So I can almost guarantee the next couple years we might even see uglier things come out. Just for the purging of the last degrees of each sign. Those are called the anaretic degrees, and those really indicate kind of the remnants and the refuse of the grossness, and in relation to Pluto, which is all about power. So we're really going to see some desperate acts the next couple years. So not a lot should really surprise us, in relation to that astrological aspect.
Well, and around that time too, I really feel like it's going to be the beginning of all these progressive changes, 2020, 2025. So we really have to expose all of the ugly and all, all the shock and, the racism, the bigotry, that all kind of needed to be exposed. The hate, it needed to be exposed so that we can see how real it is in this world, and then we can make changes to to go into a more progressive society. But a lot of things have to be unearthed, and it needs to wake us up for us to get into that change.
Yeah, and I believe that the gun laws are by 2024, 2025 are just gonna flip like a 180.
Good. Too many shootings. I think Hogarth, he's an astrologer too. Have you ever watched him, Adam? He's an astrologer, and he was talking about in England how they watch us and they just, they're shooting after shooting after shooting, malls and concerts, and they don't have that there. And they look at America and think, what the heck, what's going on? Why don't they have some stricter gun rules? You're not saying they can't have them at all. They act like you're trying to take their guns away totally. But you shouldn't have 15-year-olds. What is that? That one kid having an assault rifle, walking around with that, or a 19-year-old mentally ill person being able to get an assault rifle. Did you hear they said that they're not going to take part in the debates, the Republicans aren't?
No, not.
Because they have nothing. They have nothing to debate. They just have conspiracy theories.
Well, and they say too, I mean, unless it was a Fox News funded debate, they're the party of lies and deception. And so if you have like a moderate platform and they don't have any policy ideas, I mean, they're going to say that the news is biased against them. So if it doesn't benefit them, they're not going to do it.
It's like little kids playing a game of Monopoly or Yahtzee and tipping the board game over and saying it's no fair, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, temper tantrums. They acting like children. They don't even act like adults.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, did anybody have any other questions on Mark Meadows, Ginny Thomas, Clarence Thomas, January 6th before we wrap up? I want to thank Adam. I like. I'm not very knowledgeable in astrology, and Adam does such a great job at kind of breaking it down for those of us who don't understand it the best. So it's always nice to get a different perspective.
You are very welcome, Kevin, and thanks so much for hosting me on your page as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed having you on mine too. It's really nice combining the tarot with the astrology.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that.
The lineup. Yeah, it's cool. Deb Z says, do you think 45 won't be prosecuted as it will be an embarrassment for the U.S.? Send him to a mental institution instead. I've always felt a mental institution, but I also feel like he's had a cognitive decline for years now, and he's not in reality. And, when it gets to that point where, there's no way that he can save himself, he'll use that as an excuse. And I don't know. I don't think he has a very long life anyway. So
he may not
I've
make it
never
to
felt him in jail. Right.
I hate to say that. I don't wish that upon anybody, but he may not make it to 2024 the way he's going.
Yeah.
This is a really good question. What I see of the United States is that we in the United States have a strong foundational streak of vanity, and I would call it misplaced vanity. Look at, for example, the bombing of the Twin Towers. Everyone was like, that could never happen to the United States, right? It's almost like this level of invincibility, and with that comes denial, right? So I really think there's a good chance he won't be prosecuted because of vanity and denial issues in relation to how the United States wants to portray heroes, right? And we link that president to a hero. So unfortunately, Trump was and is a crook, but I think there is a really good chance that he won't be prosecuted.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it'll be worse because he's going to lose his money, he's going to lose his position, he's going to lose his power, and he will never be president again. And I think they've lost what little reputation they had. So yeah, I think, and so he'll get his karma.
Oh
one
yeah,
way or another. He's going to get his karma.
Yeah.
The Trump brand is going to be nothing. There is all of the assets will be seized, and I see, I can agree with Adam. I don't know if he'll be prosecuted in the sense with like the like the January 6th stuff, because they don't want it to be like a new precedent, like every president then gets investigated by the other party and prosecuted. But where I really feel him getting in trouble is all the fraud from the Trump organization, and I feel like all the assets are going to be seized.
Well, here's going to be his hotel, Trump Tower. Can you see it?
Oh.
That's my tower card, Trump Tower. The Trump name's falling off, losing money.
Jeez.
Sandra asks when, I have a couple other questions to start real quick. But when will the January 6th wrap up? It feels like it's towards the end of this year, beginning of next year to me. But there's going to be so much information that comes out before midterms.
Yeah, I see that going on at least until the end of the year. And then I also see the possibility of more things kind of creeping in throughout the next couple of years, perhaps. Just slowly on things starting to get revealed more and more and more.
Well, and I think into like next year and stuff like that, I think that the Mueller investigation is going to be reopened at some point too, and a lot more stuff with the Russian collusion and all that, and even like the like the Trump New York case. I feel like that's going to go on. These investigations are going to go on for years before some people are, prosecuted, and a lot of them will spend time in jail.
Yeah, I'm getting, maybe the end of this year, beginning of next year.
Mhm. And I think the January 6th investigation will lead to further investigations into individuals, even people in Congress and Senate that were a major part of the planning of this. So,
And then the Russian money. I think we're going to find out who
yes.
took the Russian money, which Congress people, so they are going to be in a panic, I think, Adam. I think because you said it's going to get worse. When you are at threat of going to prison and all your stuff is coming out and you're going to lose your position of power, they're going to, like you said, they're going to be desperate. So
Mhm.
I'm like you, I can see them pulling more desperate acts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Adam would pick up Mark Meadows' wife at all with his chart. Probably not. But
Mm.
um, with will Mark Meadows' wife Debbie Phillips Meadows be implicated? And I asked my guides and I felt no, but I'm not really familiar with who she is. I feel like out of the two of them though, she's a little bit more sane and not so much into the conspiracy stuff. She's a little bit more stable than I think Mark Meadows is.
Yeah, what I'm kind of seeing with this is I'm seeing there's a good possibility that this could really sever their relationship. I
Yeah.
see probably nothing more than maybe a mild investigation with her. That's about it.
Yeah, I got no with the pendulum as well. But I did get possibly broken family. So
Mm,
it could cause her some problems because she may withdraw or want to just get away from
Mm-hmm.
all this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think too, if he went to jail or something like that, I think that would be the end of their marriage.
Yeah, take his money and leave it probably.
Hmm. And while we're on the subject of divorce, are Ginny and Clarence divorcing? No, because I don't feel like Clarence is going to be around. He might be around to the end of the year, but I don't think he'll be around much longer.
Yeah,
And
I
she
don't
really likes the name, and all the power that comes with, being with Clarence. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't get divorced either with the pendulum.
Mm-hmm. I get that they have been emotionally divorced now for years. In fact,
yeah,
I get that they were never actually really together in the sense of like love, you know. Um,
They're friends.
yeah, and I also believe that once he passes, she probably won't shed a tear.
Well, what does she say? She says, I have to talk to my best friend, is what she said on some of those texts. Well, she tends to call him her best friend. So they might not have a romantic relationship, but I think they have where they talk to one another, a friendship,
more of a
but
friendship. Yeah.
more of
Mm-hmm.
a friendship than a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Well, I think that's our last question. Oh, Virgo says, what about Debbie Meadows' voter fraud in North Carolina? She filled out the forms.
Hmm.
Oh, the ones in Virginia, wasn't it Virginia? He said he voted
Yes.
at a,
Yeah. Or North Carolina, I think is what it was. They were registered to, an address that wasn't a legit address. I don't know. She might get in very minor trouble, but I don't see anything being crazier.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, wish I had
no.
better news to go. I think she'll get away with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see maybe a little investigation, maybe.
But yet
Yeah.
there was a Hispanic woman who didn't realize the rules of our country, and she voted twice, and she is in prison for 6 years away from her children. So if
Oh
you're
yeah.
poor, if you don't have money, if you're middle class, you go to jail. But they're showing us that there is two sets of laws. They say, justice is equal, equal justice. No one is above the law. But it is making a lot of us feel like, is that true?
Yeah.
Because I don't know that it is.
Mm-hmm.
Very fair point. I'm going to put every Deann's and Adam's channel link in the chat right now. So if you all haven't, please go over to their channels and subscribe. Um, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And please make sure to like and support my channel. I would really appreciate that. It's always fun to work with Deann and Adam, and I think our energy works really well together. Do you guys have any anything going on your channels or collabs that you want to share before we wrap up?
You want to go first, Adam?
Sure. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm doing a collaboration with Sheila Celtic Tarot. We're going to be talking a little bit about politics, a little bit about the eclipse, and some astrological aspects in relation to your personal self. And if you have time, please check that out. It'll be posted. It's going to happen on Sheila's page, but I will post the link right after on my page in the community section.
And I have a show on tonight. It is at 5 p.m. Central. It's with Starseed Awakening 1111 and Scott Allen, Spiritual Essence. It is going to be my first live show, doing it on my own. So you guys, I hope you will show up. And then tomorrow, Kevin is going to be on with me and Sheila Angel Feather Tarot and Jen's World at my channel at 6 p.m. And we're going to do a live show then. And let's see, the 23rd, I'm going to be on Sharon Strawberry Rhubarb Tarot. I'll be on there at 6 p.m. And then next Tuesday, I get to be with Kevin again.
Nice. Did you say I was on with you on tomorrow?
You are.
Okay. I missed it. So, yes. I have the collab on Deann's channel with Sheila and Jen from Jen's World, which is fun. I love Jen's energy. And I haven't talked to Mel. I'm not sure if we're going to have this Thursday show on his channel or my channel. But besides that, I don't have anything else in the works to share at the moment. In the description box, I have Deann's email if you want to reach out for a private reading, and Adam, if anybody's interested in a natal or transit chart, they do that. I have my email in there as well. I do remote Reiki and readings as well. If anybody's interested, just send us an email and reach out, and we'll get something set up. All right, everyone.
He on me, you guys. He's good. It works.
Yeah, and I just learned the remote, the distance healing in my last class. So it's still something that's new for me, but I've got nothing but positive feedback. So, if I can help give anybody some relief, I mean, that's always a great thing. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Please hit the thumbs up and go subscribe to their channels on your way out. And we will see you all soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.